Welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. Yes, it is 7 p.m. on the East Coast, and I am very happy to have you here with me this evening. I wasn't sure what I was going to do for the show this evening, and then my Lord and Master, King Andrew Cuomo II, oh, hail the king, he sent out his barrister, he sent out his lawyer, his solicitor to go out and talk about how this whole thing is just unfair and it's biased. This whole rigmarole about him and women and stuff. And she came out and talked about it. And man, I know a lot of you were thinking, you were like, Larry, you're so wrong. He's gone. There's no way. He's got no friends. And I kept saying, he's not done yet. He's not done yet. You don't know him. You don't know him like I do. You don't know him like I do. He's not done yet. And she just went out there and she's showing you what he's talking about. So absolutely. Let me show you what she did and some pieces to it you may enjoy. Some of it may be a little slow, but I will try to speed up and show you what she's saying and why she's doing what she's doing. You may enjoy this. He's not done. That is what I will say. King Andrew, the king is not dead yet. Not yet.
My name is Rita Glavin, and I represent Governor Cuomo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a former federal prosecutor, and I know the difference between putting a case together against a target versus doing independent fact-finding.
Now, she immediately says, I know the difference between putting a case together against the target and fact-finding. And if you notice what Cuomo always called it, he called it a review. He always called it a review. So it was supposed to be neutral and independent, and she's coming right in the back, off the bat saying, nope, this was target. This was like they're putting a case against him. That's what she's saying.
With an open mind.
No open mind.
And there has been no open-minded fact-finding in this case. The investigation was conducted to support a predetermined narrative.
These people knew.
In our legal system, both sides are heard and given access to the evidence.
Yeah.
But here, instead of acting as independent fact finders, the investigators acted as prosecutors, judge, and jury.
Now, what she's saying in this part is it's very good. If you saw what Cuomo did the other day when he made his statement, what he basically did was he gave you, if you like Cuomo or care about him, a bunch of talking points that you can use to your friends, the media can use, all those things. The sad part for His Majesty is that many of them weren't used. What actually happened is most people either turned on him or ignored it, one or the other. They didn't use what he said. Well, now he's got her out here. This is part two to see if this one lands. She is now going to provide more talking points for the media to use and for others to use and to see how this works.
On Tuesday, the Attorney General and the investigators called a press conference. And within minutes of that very carefully choreographed press conference,
it's choreographed.
There were calls for the governor to step down. We weren't given, as Mr. Fishman told you, any advance notice.
Now, is it because, should he have had unfair notice? Actually, I don't know, to be forward, if he should have had that. That's something I don't actually know. But it doesn't sound fair, right? And this is not for the lawyers. She's not doing this so that lawyers will act. This isn't for the courtroom. This is for public opinion. It should feel like, well, you went out there and smashed them, and then, yeah, that's an issue.
About when the report would be released, its findings, a chance to respond to errors, inaccuracies, and that was intentional. This was not an exercise in truth finding.
And so now if you remember what I said earlier this week, I said the key is going to be what he's going to try to do is at least take down one witness, maybe two. I mean, one complainant. Is that what they called? Maybe one accuser or two if he can. If you take down one or two, now all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, is this real or is this some kind of conspiracy? They're trying to make that be the case. It's a conspiracy against him.
Let me tell you that on just our review of the report, and again, as Mr. Fishman informed you, we do not have the underlying evidence. That has not been provided to us from that report. We have not had a chance to examine the transcripts or even.
So now it's unfair, right? Because now they got to go out and get everyone to call for his resignation, and he couldn't defend himself. Aw. See, even though he literally has been defending himself for the past year.
Memos of interview of the 179 people that the Attorney General interviewed. But what I do know.
Tell me what you know.
Based on the limited information we've been given access to, there are contrary facts.
Okay.
And omissions from that report. And you have to ask yourselves why.
Why you? It's like she's talking to a jury, right? Think about that. It's like she's talking to a jury right now, isn't she? She's saying, you got to ask yourself why, juror number 5. This is for the court of public opinion. So all the people who want to believe Cuomo so badly, they so want to believe Cuomo. They're like, no, I don't want to get rid of my governor. Well, I'm a Cuomo-sexual. They don't want to. The hope is, and from their side, from Cuomo's side, that if she puts enough of this out there, that some of those people will be like, you know what? Yeah, that makes sense. And then they'll begin the process. And then hopefully the press will pick it up and then they'll begin the process. So far, that isn't happening.
I'm going to give you 3 examples. The first relates to executive assistant number 1.
Yep.
What she has alleged is perhaps the most significant allegation made against the governor.
They hit it off the bat right there.
She has said that during the work day, the governor groped her breast.
Remember that?
In his office. In essence, she has accused Governor Cuomo of sexual assault.
Yes, indeed, she has. That's true.
The governor has repeatedly denied that ever took place. And quite frankly, when she first raised this in early March,
yeah, what happened? Tell me.
He was stunned.
He was stunned. He's like, oh, I can't believe he was stunned because she said something. That's what he was probably stunned about, but it's okay.
This executive assistant gave an anonymous interview to the Albany Times-Union. It was published on April 7 of 2021, and I encourage you, please, read what she told the Times-Union about that day.
Guaranteed they find things that don't work.
That she was asked to come to the mansion to fix a technical issue.
With a phone.
With the governor's iPhone, or with his phone.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yep.
And the report states as fact that she was summoned to the mansion. What she tells the Times-Union is that she arrived, she walked into the governor's second floor office, where he slammed the door, groped her breast under her shirt and over her bra. And then she left without saying a word because she was so upset.
I do remember that. I do. That's true.
The governor was interviewed on July 17th. And during that interview, he was told for the first time when this alleged incident took place.
He never heard of it
November
before.
16 of 2020.
No idea.
And after that interview, I did, as the governor's lawyer, what I would have expected that the investigators had already done.
Okay.
I did what any investigator would do, which is I reconstructed the events of that day.
Yes, indeed. And I got to tell you a couple comments because you guys are getting this already. Tom figured this out. He's like, here we go. Blame the victim. Yeah, you kind of saw that coming, right? You got to take down one of them. That's going to be what he does. And the question of all of this is the same thing. Do people buy it or not? Right? If no one picks this up and no one buys it, this goes away. And I'm not blaming the lawyer. The lawyer's got to do what she's got to do. She's a good lawyer, clearly. She did her homework. That's what she's doing. So she's going to try to, do what she can. I'm not mad at her. Are we going to buy this? That's the question. Because there's more, right? There's a whole lot more. Are they really going to go here? So, yes. Shelley says, a woman who speaks up would invariably be a shock to Cuomo. He expects them to want to be groped by narcissists like him. Valid point, Shelley. He's been getting away with it for like 40 years. So, yeah, of course he's shocked.
Me and my team went through the emails for that day. All the entrance and exit records. And this woman's story, which is stated as fact in the report, is false. The documentary evidence does not support what she said.
This is a big problem. I will tell you guys all the time, and you hear me say it, and I will say it 1,000 times. You can't lie in any document the government's going to get. You can't lie in government documents. You just can't do it. That's when they kill you. It's better to just say nothing. Just say nothing or get your story straight. Because what she's going to do now is literally go, she said X, but it was Y. She said X, but it was Y. She said A, but it was B. She said A, but it was B. And there's going to be documents that show it. And now it's going to cast doubt. And that's the entire goal, is to cast doubt.
And what is disturbing to me,
you're disturbed,
is that the two investigators did not show that evidence to you. They ignored it. Ask them why.
Well, this actually is a valid point. She's right. I mean, why wouldn't you show that evidence unless that's one thing that's true. That part's accurate. I'm not getting Cuomo off. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that part's accurate. Probably should have done that.
Let's go through the timeline of November 16th.
So she literally goes through the entire timeline. Now remember, what the woman told the Times Union is that she went there because of the phone. When she got there, he grabbed her, slammed the door, grabbed her, and then said something like, whatever, I don't care, or whatever. And then she left because she was so shocked, didn't know how to act. That's what she said.
In her account to the Albany Times Union,
I was going to say it now.
She says she was summoned there from the Capitol to the mansion to fix a phone issue. She arrived. She went to the governor's office. Mm-hmm. He came out from behind his desk, that he groped her.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the door slamming.
Yep.
And he said, I don't care, when she said, someone's going to see us.
Mm-hmm.
And then she walked out and left.
Now you might say, Larry, why are you putting us through this? There's many reasons why I'm doing this, and I hope you all get it. Number one, a lot of you thought, oh, he's finished. You thought that last year. You thought that earlier this year. You thought it this week. And each time I said, nope, nope, nope. And here he is coming out swinging. He came out fighting this week, and now he sent his minions out, and they're out fighting too. He's not going out like that. He's just not. The king is not dead. Do not fool yourself and think he's dead. He's not. And here he is right now fighting back. As I told you he would. He is not dead yet. Maybe soon, but not yet.
Well, that's not what happened.
No.
She was at the mansion that day for several hours. She wasn't just working with the governor. She was working with other staffers. Emails that she sent while she was at the mansion reflect that she was joking while she was there. She was eating snacks. And she even offered to stay longer at the mansion when her work was done.
Now, this part bothers me a bit. And if any of you have had anyone in your life who's been a victim of sexual harassment, or if you've been a victim of sexual harassment, those last couple of things, that's not uncommon. If a woman, and men too, but it's so much more women than men, but men too, but mostly women, when they get harassed or pushed around like this or intimidated like this, they often don't know how to act. And they often try to play it off like nothing's wrong. That's a common thing. So just because she did these things isn't necessarily any indication that she wasn't harassed. The problem is what I said earlier. It's not what she said. She said this happened, but Miss Glavin, being the savvy lawyer that she has, she literally has documentation saying it's not what happened. Man, is that going to hurt if that goes to court? And that's why she's doing it. She wants to make sure that this is going to look really bad if it goes to court. So maybe we should just start signing some gag orders and writing some checks that we, the taxpayer, will pay, and we can sweep this under the rug.
Here is the timeline that the investigators don't talk about. She arrived at the mansion at 11:59.
Mm-hmm.
Within 5-6 minutes after she's there, she's forwarded a speech, okay, from Stephanie Benton,
and it's because they have access to the emails.
In the mansion that day.
Yep, they're checking the emails and a text.
She was there to work on a speech,
not a
to
phone.
Fix a phone.
Yep, that's bad.
And
that
over the next hour or two, the governor was on phone calls with other governors.
Yep.
And he was preparing for a 2:00 phone call with governors and the Vice President of the United States about COVID.
There we go.
And he had a series of scheduled calls with governors in connection with that.
See how powerful he's helping you out.
At 1:59 p.m.,
see,
she sends an email to Miss Kennedy, who was at the Capitol, another assistant, and said, Steph said, never mind, Harold fixed it.
Yep.
At 2:09 p.m., while the governor's participating in a 30-minute governor's call with the vice president,
she's hanging out
still. She emails the draft speech that she'd been working on.
She's working on a speech. So let me move on this for a second, because I want to grab some comments. I hope you see this is happening right now. Right? This happened a couple hours ago, right? I think it's 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago when it came up. Already, this is him fighting back. He's not done. He is simply not done. Absolutely. So hold on, see if we can do this here. David said it's unfair because he's a Democrat. If this were a Republican, people would demand that the book get thrown at him. What she's trying to say is that it's unfair because everyone targeted him. That's her argument. Her argument is this wasn't fair, and if it was an actual attack on him, her argument is, well, then shouldn't they have told us, and we could have given you the real data, and we could have gone back, and why didn't they check this up? Her argument is the actual report, which is incriminating him, is a bogus report. That's really her argument. It's all because people wanted to get him. That's what she's trying to say. Are you buying it, David? I don't think you are, but I think that's what she's trying to say. So, yes. So, Torrin said, did she just incriminate herself for building cases against targets? I'm not sure where you're going with that. I'm not sure where you're going with that one. I don't know. Yes. Mr. Moosh, is it for me? What's your agenda? You have no clue. You will never get over the hump. Your voice will never help us. I'm not sure who that's for. Is that for me? Is my voice not helping you? I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if you're attacking me or not. Please be clearer. If you want to insult me, I don't mind. I get insulted all the time. But be clearer if it's towards me or not. I apologize. I just see a list of them and they go by quickly. I try to grab them to the best of my ability. So if I can, I try to grab them. So I may have gotten that out of order. Joe says slapping down the AG, Mrs. James is the bad person. That's what they're trying to do. That's what she's doing. She's absolutely trying to act like the AG is, political and trying to get stuff. Yes, absolutely. 100%. So let's see if I can go down here. 70% of New Yorkers have called for him to step down. A lot of people want him to step down, but he's not doing it. I'm telling you, he's fighting. He's fighting. Alex says, so basically the court is going to play on his side by discredited all witnesses and allegations. I don't know if that's true. That's what she's trying to do, right? She's hoping that will happen, and the court of public opinion will then decide it's all bad, and so they won't do it, right? Look, the reality of it is, I don't think anybody actually wants to go to court. right? Generally speaking, not 100% rule, but generally speaking, lawyers don't want to go to court. They want to settle it before going to court. They want, if you're the defense, you want them to drop the charges before you go. If you're on the offense, you want them to plea before you go to court. As a general rule, always exceptions. Lawyers don't want to go to court. Why would you? You might lose, you might win, who knows? But if you can get that agreement before you go, so this is posturing, right? This is posturing, and they know that no matter what, the jury comes from New Yorkers. So, and New Yorkers will watch this, and it will be on TV. And if you can kind of poison the well, that's your jury pool. Your jury pool is us. We're the ones. Oh, they picked me for a juror. Oh, we're the ones. So yeah. Anyway, Benjamin says, if it was conspiracy, the rest of the left would not have turned their backs on him. Well, what they're going to try to say, Benjamin, and again, the question is, will you believe it, right? But what they're going to try to say is that it was conspiracy against him, because either he wasn't a true believer, or because they all believed that, the AG James, she wanted his job. They'll try to make it like that, right? Again, your point's a valid one. Will all of a sudden the media stop pushing these talking points out, or will they still hammer him? Will he get friends all of a sudden when people stop and go, wait a minute, yeah, that's right. The other issue is she's going to mention a bunch of other people here in a second. When she mentions those people, are those people prepared to make written statements saying that, oh, she's wrong, that's not what happened? That becomes a whole lot tougher, right? Tom says he's been making excuses and blaming people for a year. Yeah, it's not like it's unfair. But again, that's what she's trying to achieve. But you're right. It's not like it's unfair at all. Yes. So, lol, I was saying he's been defending himself at the very same time Larry said it. He's been defending himself for the past year. 100% he has. So it isn't that it's unfair, but you got to make it think that way. So, yeah. Let me grab a little bit more. And there's some details here which I think you want to hear. She's good at what she does. And she's slow and methodical, so you can hear everything.
And then that speech was forwarded to senior staff.
If you could imagine, if you were on a jury, that she could show you this and express everything. This is what happened. We had this information. How can it be true? If you were in theory a neutral juror, you would be questioning things now.
At 2:16, Miss Kennedy emails her and asks how it was going at the mansion.
What's going on
here,
right?
Response at 2:18 p.m. Pretty good right now, actually. Carol just came through with some cheese and crackers, so I'm happy now.
It's funny how they do a FOIA and get everything. We do a FOIA and they tell us to go to hell. It's amazing. They get everything in a day. We get nothing.
Carol is a member of the mansion staff. And where Carol serves cheese and crackers is not on the second floor of the governor's offices. It's on the first.
Wrong floor,
and
different
when she
people.
Emails about getting the cheese and the crackers, Miss Kennedy replies back, you gotta love the cheese. At 2:37.
Not looking good.
Executive Assistant 1 then emails Miss Benton again, and she says, hey, the gov just came in, said he was good. You need me to do anything else for you before I head back to the cap?
See that?
What that email reflects, when it says the governor just came in, there is an office on the first floor of the mansion where the governor's assistants work when they are there. That email reflects that the governor came into that office to say he was good.
So the problem now here is think about it. If you're executive assistant 1, if you're that woman right now, how do you feel when you see this? How do you feel? Did you make a mistake when you did the interview? Was the interview a mistake? Did you say something wrong? Did you screw up? Was your brain scrambled? What was going on? Is this all a lie? Whatever. How do you feel? Now, unless she's totally making it up, which, I mean, I guess it's possible. Anything's possible. But I think my mind's made up. But anything's possible. My mind's made up, though, right now. I'd be a terrible juror because I'm like, guilty. So I'd be a terrible juror right now. But if you were in a jury right now, and you saw that, you would be questioning yourself. But if you're her right now watching this, you're going, did I say that? What did I say? What was I thinking? Imagine what's going through her head. Is she saying that's a lie? Is she saying I screwed up? Is she now regretting what she did? And this goes back to what some people get upset about, why women don't come forward. When you come forward against powerful men, this is your result right here. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm not. Women should still do it 100%. And I'm not saying something else. I mean, I'm also not saying you should blatantly believe women. I'm not saying that either. I'm saying you should respect women, respect when they're concerned and have issues, and do an investigation. And when it happens, be nicer to them, because this is what's going to happen. And if someone's powerful, this is what's going to happen. And if she actually did mess up and say the wrong date or the wrong time or the wrong this, oh, she's going to pay a high price. I just say one more time, if any documents that are going to the government, please don't lie, because they're always going to get you on stuff just like this.
Didn't need anything else. And then she emails Stephanie Benton to say, is there anything else that you need me to do here before I head back?
Nope.
The governor then was on a phone call with his chief of staff. And
now, again, this one part is, if someone doesn't know any better, and a lot of people don't know, like they don't know what happens when someone gets harassed or assaulted or any of those things. They would look at this, and if you don't know, and you go, well, she's happy, she's sending good emails. Clearly nothing happened. That's what a person could think. They wouldn't get that sometimes people just don't know how to act and just go about their business as if nothing happened, because they're almost in shock. They don't know how to act. So something bad could have happened, and she still could have done that. But again, if you don't know that, and you're just a juror sitting in the jury box, and you hear that, you think to yourself, oh, well, then I guess nothing happened. That could happen. That's why she does this.
Executive Assistant 1 left the mansion at 2:47. This
There we go.
does not in any way, shape, or form reflect what Executive 1 told the Times Union.
I want you to see at the bottom of that slide what it says. The report is wrong. She's not saying, that phrase right there doesn't say that Executive Assistant 1 made an error, did something wrong. It's clear. She put it in yellow so you can see it. The report is wrong. As you heard me say last week or early this week, what I say, you got to get one to be bad to discredit everything. So now the entire report is garbage. That's what they're trying to push. You can see how hard it would be to be a neutral juror in this. It's not a slam dunk. The king is not dead.
And again, I asked, why did this report ignore documentary evidence, and why did they not want to tell you?
What are they hiding?
The report instead suggests that the governor falsely testified that there were people around. That he said to touch a woman's breast, who I hardly knew, in the mansion with 10 staff around. And what the report said, there wasn't evidence that there were 10 mansion staff around in the vicinity of the second floor office that day. Well, the report's wrong.
Now she's going to say, now she goes, this is a great part. She first shows in her idea that, well, the executive assistant's a liar, clearly, right? And the report is wrong. And let me show you why the governor's right. And she's going to show you data, the governor's right. Now, what does that do? Well, if you're again a juror, you go, wait a minute, the governor's right. So maybe his other testimony is correct too. This also goes out into the world. So the hope is that people will see this, act accordingly, start talking about it. Maybe there'll be debates on CNN or whatever. And before you know it, he's poisoned the well and this starts going nowhere.
Records
Tell me what the records say. What did it say?
That senior staff members were in the mansion working with the governor that day.
There we go.
While Executive Assistant 1 was there.
There we go.
Pete Jiminian, Stephanie Benton, Melissa DeRosa, the House staff, as you know, Carol, Carol's usually there with one or two others.
So all the staff's there. And they mentioned Carol. Why? Carol's a woman. You should see women would never, right? So yeah, so a woman's there too. And they cast doubt on everything.
There were actually staffers that came in and left, dropped something off. Did the investigators ever ask those senior staffers about November 16th?
So if you notice now what she's doing, did they ask? Why not? She's just now turned the onus on them. All of a sudden, this trial isn't about Cuomo. This trial's about the AG and her minions who had a mission to get us all. She's now just turned it. So now they're going to have to defend themselves, or maybe they don't care and they just gamble. What I think the right answer is for the AG, just say nothing. Don't say a word. Keep your mouth shut and walk away. Say nothing. But who knows? Tish may think, hey, I got to run for governor. Let me get back out in front of the camera again. You never know what she's going to do.
Ask them. Ask the attorney general. Release the transcripts.
Where's your birth certificate?
Because I'm betting they didn't.
I'm sorry. Transcript. Where's your transcript? Sorry.
It would have taken 5 minutes for the attorney general's investigators to send a subpoena asking for all emails and records for November 16th, and they didn't do it.
She's got a point. That's that part. See, this is the glory of this.
You got to ask yourselves why.
Do you
and
have
what this report was designed to do and to not do.
What's it supposed to do? But look how she puts down each one of those. This is very well done. I mean, I hate it, but it's very well done. I respect the game.
When Executive Assistant 1 claims the governor slammed his door, if you're to ask anybody who works in the mansion,
okay,
because of the age of the mansion, a door being slammed shut, echoes.
Oh.
The report doesn't say that anyone corroborated hearing a door slammed, because the fact that the Executive Assistant 1 was in the mansion that day, that's not an often thing that happens during the workday. That Executive Assistant 1 is in the mansion for several hours. Did the investigators even ask any of the people who were there?
Did these incompetent investigators ask anything? God, these people are incompetent. Oh, no, they weren't. They were just trying to get the governor. They weren't incompetent. They had an agenda.
Ask them.
Ask them. It's on them. Explain yourself.
I'm going to go to second example.
Now, that was the big one. She went right there, took all her time on that one, and tore that thing apart. And don't get me wrong, that's a good attack for someone who only has that page, and now she's out doing this. It's not a bad attack. I mean, and it does begin to muddy the waters. And again, will Cuomo supporters come out of the woodworks now or not? Will the media pick up the narrative or not? That's the answer. They're throwing it out there, hoping the media picks up. We'll see if they will.
Statements that undermined Lindsey Boylan's claims.
So now the first EA is completely wrong. Now Lindsey Boylan's, she's wrong too. They're all wrong. They're all wrong. Yes, Tom, you nailed it way up front. We're blaming the victims. Let me grab some more comments if I can. Let's see here. John says, silence is compliance. She's essentially condoning the alleged accusations, not by representing him because he has the right to counsel, but she's condoning it by making it a dog and pony show. John, you're making me think. The piece that look, everyone deserves a defense though, right? I mean, he gets it better. I don't know. If it was a regular person, I mean, wouldn't you want defense too? I mean, wouldn't you want that? Wouldn't you want someone to defend you to the best of their ability? I don't know. I'm torn on this one. So Butch says, like they say, every criminal is not guilty from their view. Just ask all the prisons. Yeah. Yes. Well, yeah. But look, he's got money. So ours. So he's going to use our money to do it. So that's what he's going to do. That's the part that bothers me too, by the way. Yeah. That's a problem. Yes. Mike says we need you as a government. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Yes. Avi says he owns the courts, the legislators, and has his clapping seals in the media, and yet he's playing the victim. I'm not sure about this, Avi. That's usually true, but the media has been very bad to him recently. I don't know if they're going to turn or not. That's my issue. I don't think it's guaranteed that they're going to, stay the way they are. But right now, they're against him. There's a lot of people in the media literally just hammering him, calling him names, being terrible to him. So he gets to play the victim because everyone's attacking him now. How long is that going to last? I don't know. This governor is nothing more than a grown adult man baby that should be removed based on his ability to identify as an adult. He has the mental responsibility, the mental and responsibility capacity of an autistic kindergartner. What? No, Avi, no, don't do that. You're making an error here. You're going to underestimate him. That's a mistake. I'm the guy here not underestimating him. A lot of people underestimated him. Don't do it. It's a mistake. Don't belittle him or underestimate him. He is a monster with a machine. He's not a little man. He's not dumb. Don't underestimate him. He might still be here a year from now. So that's all I'm saying. Yes. So Tim says, I promised myself I wasn't going to listen to any more lawyers today. Sometimes you got to listen. Shelley says, a woman who speaks up would invariably be a shock to Cuomo. Yes, I love that. It's very good. Yes. Tim says, can I be mad at the lawyer? Yeah, absolutely. Yes. What happened to believe the accusers before a proper hearing? They did Justice Thomas. Biden himself did this to Justice Thomas. There's validity in what you're saying, John. There is. And as much as and this is why I'm saying it, when he first got accused of you, if you remember, I said, I'm not saying anything until the report comes out. Even Cuomo, the horrible person that he is, and he is a horrible person, even if this is some massive conspiracy, I mean, I can't imagine, but say I'm totally wrong and we come out later, it's a massive conspiracy. He's still a bad guy. And even the conspiracy, the fact they would have a conspiracy against him like this also proves he's a bad guy. They're attacking their own. Why? Because he's a bad guy. And even with that, he still deserves justice. He still deserves, due process. Even him. Because if we can give it to him, then we can give it to you, John, or to me or anybody else. Everybody should get it, even him. I just hope that people don't buy this and that they hammer him, because I really think he did it because he's a bad guy and it fits everything that I believe he is as a human being. But maybe I'm wrong. Possible, but I'm just saying. I don't know. So, Shelley's not happy because this woman is now abetting the sexual harassment of women. You guys are bothering me with this, Shelley. I don't like what I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. It's bad, but what's she going to do? She's got to do her job. God, it sounds so horrible doing a job. All right. We'll come back to this. Dixie says, this is why women don't come forward for sexual assaults, abuse, and harassment. They're going to malign her character. 100%, Dixie. You are correct. 100%. You are correct. Yes. Brian says, maybe the investigation found that she was mistaken on the date. If that's true, Brian, that should have been in the report, right? And it wasn't. That's the issue, right? What she's actually saying is this stuff's not in the report. She's saying the report is bad. So if it's true, then they screwed up on a report, and that will be a shame, right? Because that would be a dumb reason for this to fall apart, because someone didn't bother didn't bother mentioning that, it wasn't really the 16th, it was the 15th or whatever. So, yes. Ben says, shouldn't be going to the time in an actual court rather than on the internet. Ben, in theory, yes, but in practice, no, because what she's trying to do is several things. Again, get the media to pick up this narrative, get you to pick up this narrative, and me, and believe her narrative and bring it up and talk about it and fight it to get people to believe it to be true. That's number one. And two, hopefully, in their eyes, get the other attorneys to realize we can't win this case. This is not a slam dunk case. We can't win this case. And if they get the opposite side to believe that, then what happens? They drop the charges or lower them, or they make some plea agreement with a gag order so they can't say things. So something like that is what winds up happening, right? That's the goal of what they're trying to achieve. They would rather not go to court. They'd rather just be some kind of settlement and gag order and move on, and everyone goes on. That's what they would like to happen. So should be in court, yes, but they want to do it early because they can. If this was, me or you, we could go online, but no one's going to watch. She goes online and everybody covers it. So that's the advantage of being governor. Absolutely. Matt puts in quotes, there should be a zero tolerance policy when it comes to sexual harassment and must send a clear message that this behavior is not tolerated unless it's against me. Edited. Yes, I like that. Andrew Cuomo, May 2013. Edited July 2021. Unless it's against me. Matt, nicely done. That's very good. I like that. Jeff, has she been a lawyer for a while, or did he hire her for this instance? If she's been his lawyer, it's at least convenient now. If he selected her for this case, it's brilliant move on his part. Yeah, I mean, I think she's been part of his team for a while. That's what I believe. But yeah, she's actually good, and it's a woman. Perfect. I mean, it's exactly what they want. Agreed. It's exactly what they want. So, all right. Shelley says executive assistants are managers of the clerks and everyone under her. This is the female manager he spoke directly to in his defense. Oh, okay. Yes, that's right. There we go. Yes, that's right. I like that. Joe says the money is starting to walk away from him. Several unions have pulled their donations. That's the beginning, Joe. You're right. That's scary. When the unions walk away, we could be in trouble, right? That's definitely an issue. The unions walk away. Let me go a little bit further now, grab you a little bit more, because now she goes to the next piece, which is interesting. She now talks about the second accuser.
Were ignored in this report.
The report ignored this too, so the report's wrong.
On December 5th, and this is where this all started, with tweets from Lindsey Boylan.
They hammer Lindsey Boylan.
On December 5th, she tweeted, now this is 2 weeks. You have to consider the timing of when these tweets started.
Uh-oh.
She had announced about 2 weeks earlier that she was running to be the Manhattan Borough president.
See that? Good for her.
So she knew that her tweets at that time were all going to be within her campaign and the platform that she was going to run on. And what she said was she tried to quit 3 times from the governor's office before it stuck. She said, I'm a privileged person. I could opt out, and eventually did. And what she was clearly trying to tell the world is that she opted out.
Okay, she's leaving.
Because of a toxic work environment that she was being sexually harassed.
Okay.
Well, the evidence is not that that's why Miss Boylan left.
Isn't she good? She's like, well, that's the evidence is not that. I like how she says, tell me you're a liar without telling me you're a liar. Oh, tell me she's a liar without telling me she's a liar. That's what they're actually doing. Yeah, she said that, but that's not what the evidence says.
As has been, reported, what happened is that on September 26th of 2018,
this does not look good.
The governor's council met with Miss Boylan. And the reason for the meeting is that there had been a number of employee complaints about her.
Now, here's the thing. If they can actually get the people in the governor's council to testify or to put some kind of statement out to go, yeah, she was a bad manager. She was terrible. If that's real, she's going to look really bad, right? Does she really want that to come out?
The Attorney General's report omits what those allegations were.
Because that report.
What was said about Miss Boylan, what the recommendation was from the Empire State Development Agency.
They told her to go.
Why didn't they put that in there?
That's the issue, right? Again, what any good defense attorney's going to be doing always is casting doubt on the story that the prosecution told. And the prosecution told a horrible story against His Majesty. Good. But they told a horrible story. Now her goal is put the holes in it. See, it's not real.
Ms.
It's not
Boylan
real.
was confronted with a number of complaints. She immediately and voluntarily tendered her resignation.
So
she then sent an email throughout the chamber. She was resigning.
Now that's a you got an email? Like this other one too. If this is true, what she's saying, these women didn't think that was important to say, to bring this up now, because it looks bad now. It's two she's casting.
You want to know what happened 4 days later?
Tell me what happened 4 days later.
She called the governor's council.
Yeah.
And said she wanted her job back.
She was just kidding. Big joke.
The governor's office declined to give her her job back. She then reached out to the governor to personally intervene. She emailed his assistant, asked to speak with him.
If this is real, like if they have these documents, if that's real, oh my God, it's terrible, isn't it? So she's talking trash, if it's true, but she was a bad manager, so she quit before they fired her. And then said, I'm just kidding. I still want my job because maybe no one was going to hire her. And now she then says, oh, by the way, I was harassed. I'm suing you. That doesn't look
He didn't
good.
return her call after consulting with a number of people. Why didn't the investigators put this in their report?
See, the entire
particularly when 2 weeks after she started her campaign, she was leading the public to believe a false story, that she left because of sexual harassment and a bad work environment, when in fact she left after being confronted with a number of complaints and then really wanted her job back, and they wouldn't give it back.
So this one, they actually literally are now attacking her character specifically. They're like, yeah, she's just a bad person. She's just a scammer.
The fact that this is not in the report goes to Ms. Boylan's credibility, and it goes to the credibility of the investigators and their investigation and their fact-finding.
Absolutely.
Want to make
that's bad.
A last point.
Oh, she's not done. She punched one, she punched the other.
After Ms. Boylan began tweeting.
Now, I'll go past this part. What they say now is that there are people in Ms. Boylan's campaign and people in Letitia James' campaign who knew each other and were friends and were now, together talking about how they were going to hammer Cuomo. That's the assumption she makes here now. It's a little bit of a stretch, but again, she's just casting more and more and more doubt. So let me grab a couple of comments if I could. There we go. All right, that's good. Let's see here. Matt says the thing that's disgusting about all this is the trial in the public eye before the court case. Yes. Sandra says after abuse, most people go into autopilot and keep it moving, especially if the abuser is a person in power. Sandra, that's my point. Yes, Lau. You know that. Will enough people on the jury know that? Right? Will enough of them? If only one says it, will the other people believe them? I don't know if you've been in a jury before, but a lot of it's a back and forth. And who do you believe in the jury? Will enough people be in the jury and go, that's what happens? Or will they go, no, I mean, if he abused her, she would never do that, right? Wouldn't she run away or something, or whatever they might think? So, yes. David says, if Cuomo is the Democratic nominee next year, this could hurt him. Who's going to beat him? Only an outsider can. That's it. Matt says, it takes a lot of courage for women to come forward, and to rip her in public is wrong. Yeah. Yes and yes. And it is the system. Hopefully we can change that system, make it better. So, yes. Sam says, of course, we all know that our ruling elite class does not have the same set of laws or standards. It goes back to, do we elect representatives or do we elect rulers? Ooh, I like that. We're supposed to be electing a representative, Sam. I'm not sure that's true. I'm not sure that's true. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one. Larry, I actually enjoy your voice and New York accent. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's all good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Let's see. Tom says, if you want to insult me, you have to be clearer. Larry is a better man than I am. I just get insulted so often. Just be clear on what your insult is. It's fine. You can't run for office and not be ready to be insulted. It's just don't bother running. If you run, you're going to be insulted. I've been insulted so many times. Yes, all the time. Yes. So Christopher says, if Cuomo doesn't step down, I don't like his chance of getting reelected after all this. Here's the issue to remember, guys. If things get really bad, he'll resign. If he actually thinks that he'll be removed or impeached, I think he'll resign first rather than be impeached. That's my view. At the moment, I'm not sure either is going to happen. If one of them happens or is about to happen, I think he resigns before he's out. Done deal. Kathy Hochul will come in. She'll be our governor for a little bit. I don't think she'll run again. I think she'll just hold the seat, just like Patterson did when he became governor after Spitzer, and they'll run somebody else. Maybe James will run or whomever. But that's what I think will happen. Or he'll get past this. And if he gets past this, Christopher, he's bulletproof. And what I mean by that, it means no one is going to beat him in the Democratic primary. He wins Democratic primary. And sadly, New York is 3-1 Democrat to Republican. Unless it's an outsider, he wins again. So this is all or nothing for him. He's either going to be resigning before the end of the year, or he's going to be on the ticket next year as a Democratic nominee. That's my view. This is a big, big gamble. And Tim brings it up. It's a gambit. Prosecute Cuomo and lose. Trust me, no one will take this on. The impeachment will be a campaign psyop. Maybe. I like that idea. Maybe. Yeah. Joe says the points the lawyer makes some good points if it is one person, but there are 11 people accusing him. Valid point, Joe, but the concept, what she's trying to achieve is see the whole thing is wrong, right? If you remember what I mentioned earlier this week, if you can hammer one and make one so bad and so obviously wrong, then I cast doubt on the whole thing. And I go, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is any of this stuff right? Do you really believe any of this? If this is so wrong, can't this be wrong? And then if you got a good story that Cuomo tells, you say, that's the real story. It's because I'm Italian and I hug people or whatever he said, right? And then basically said, he said, I'm Italian, Italian guy, hug people. Isn't that what he said? Isn't that kind of his defense? Then they'll buy that defense. Again, is the hope. I'm not saying it's going to work, but I get where they're going with it, right? I get it completely. So, yes. Let's see if I can grab this if I can. Oh, yeah. And Tim says, the lawyer will dissect every accused just like this. Yes, absolutely true. Yes. Chuck says, F Cuomo, he's a pig. Also, yes. Yes. Yep. Brian says, everything she is saying is during normal business hours. Didn't this accusation come from an after-hours event? Ooh, I don't remember. That's a good question. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. It could be. So, the Teflon, obviously, the Teflon Don John Gotti has nothing on King Cuomo and his crime family. Is he even America anymore? The Cuomos are nothing more than glorified mobsters. Yeah, not so glorified, though, but yeah. I think I respect mobsters more, Avi. I think I do. I think I respect them more. Yes, absolutely. So, Sam says, I was stabbed. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. I think you did mention that one time. And I couldn't tell you the exact date or end details immediately before or after, other than being in the ER. I would assume it's similar for assault victims. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, it's it, right? So is that what she did, right? Was her brain so just kind of messed up by the event? Did she almost like forget what happened? Did she mix up days? Could be. The question now becomes that when her lawyer or a prosecutor questions her, can he get her to get that across to make a jury believe that, right? That's what they're going to ask that question, right? So could be that. That's a valid point. It could be that. do prosecutors believe, or does her lawyer believe that a jury will believe that? If they think no, then they're like, this, we're done. If they think, yeah, a jury will believe that, then we'll be fine. That's where they're going to go. So yes, absolutely. Paula says the prosecutor in the Harvey Weinstein case did a good job having expert witnesses explain how sexual assault victims can be nice or friendly with someone who raped or abused them. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's a thing. That is a thing. And a lot of people don't know. That's why you have the expert witness, Paula. Thank you for bringing that up. That's why you have an expert witness come in and go, no. You could be assaulted by somebody and still be nice to them. That's not crazy. That's normal. Humans do that. And they'll probably have to have a witness in and say that. Of course. There we go. Yes. Steve says, I don't believe Cuomo will ever resign, be convicted of anything, or be impeached. Wow. Steve, I really hope you're wrong. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't know. I'm the one saying the king's not dead, but God, I would hope something happens. At least a censure. I mean, it's still bad, but just something. Everything in New York is fully corrupt, rigged, bought, and paid for. Well, that's true. Yes. Stephanie says, oh my God, you totally called it on your last show. Yep. I told you. I know this guy. You guys are all like, Larry, you're crazy. Nope. I know exactly. Yes. This is 100%. Yes. 100%. So he says, it says that his defense of the action was a lie because it says that there weren't 10 people around. Yeah. That's the glory, Shelley. You're right. That's the glory. The glory of this type of defense is it's not that he didn't do it or did do it. That isn't the point in this case. What she's saying is the point is it's wrong. So why do you believe it at all? Right? That's what she's going to try to get. Why do you believe any of it? If you know between 10 and nobody, the report says 10. The data says, the report says 0. The data says 10. Why do you believe the report? Don't even believe it. That's where they're going with it. But you're correct. They're not saying he didn't do it. That's not what they're saying. But of course, they'll assume that. Yes. So, all right. Let's see here. Stephen says, I've been saying this from the beginning of these accusations. It is a way for the state to distract from the COVID health responsibility. The DOJ just dropped that case. And with all the holes in the scenario, it's working. Ooh. Maybe. Kendall says, don't blame me for the flyer shop. Thank you, my friend. Absolutely. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. Chad says Cuomo's going to be in office still. It's possible. Yes, it's absolutely possible. That's what I'm saying. It's not over yet. It's just not over yet. Where's the Me Too movement? What? Exactly. Yes. They're nothing more than pink shock troops for the Dems. But here's what I will give the press in this case. This I'll give them. I'm going to give people credit where credit is due, obviously. I'm going to try to be good. I'm always trying to give people credit. The media is not behind him. I'll say that. They're not giving him excuses. They're not doing that. Not yet, at least. We'll see. And this is what I brought up this week. By next week, over this weekend, by next week, do we see these talking points popping up in the media or not? Do we see any people asking questions, any people of stature saying any of these things? If by next Friday, nobody's saying any of them, he's in trouble. He's in trouble. If they're saying some of these things, he's coming back. Because someone's got to pick this stuff up, right? Someone's going to start picking it up and talking about it. Otherwise, no, it's just not going to work. It just isn't working. He's going to be in trouble if no one picks this up. So, yeah. So, all right. Let me grab a couple more here. All righty. Ryan says, like, comment, share. Thank you, my friend, Ryan. Yes, please do that, guys. I know I say it all the time. Like, comment, share. It does matter. Take a couple seconds, like, comment, share before I keep moving. It really does matter if you would. Please like, comment, share. And always, my sponsors, take the world's smallest political quiz. It's good for me. It's good for my sponsors. They love it. Take it if you have already taken it. Click that link anyway and take some of the other surveys that are there. There's like 6 or 7 other tests and surveys. They're fun and interesting. They see where you stand. It's good stuff. And if you've done that, then share it with your friends. Let someone else take it. Let's share one of the other quizzes with your friends. Any of those. It all helps. We want more people coming to the site. We want more people seeing what's going on. More people seeing what they really think in their own heads. It really matters tremendously. If you want to support me directly, sponsor the show. Patreon.com/SharpeWay. $10 a month is all you need. $10 is good. If you want to take the quizzes, that's free. Like, comment, and share. That's free. You want to do more? $10 a month. at patreon.com/sharpeway to keep this going. Remember, if you click the link tree in the description, you can see all the goodies. We have all these podcasts that we have. We have the old podcasts. You want to watch the old stuff. That's there also. Our YouTube pages, Twitter account, TikTok, all there. Enjoy. It does matter. Thank you so much. Let me go a little further if I could. So Paula says, Fox News is more sympathetic to Cuomo than MSNBC, which I figured would happen given the accusation made against Fox. Maybe. We'll see. Absolutely. All right. Let me keep going. I'm going to show you a little bit more on where she's going with this person.
To my last point about the report.
About the report.
Last point for now. There was a claim by Ms. Boylan.
I remember this
made for the first time on February 24th in a Medium piece that she got on to the state airplane where the governor and other staffers were.
She's on a plane now.
And what she said is that she was sitting across from the governor, and this is a pretty small plane, next to a woman named Abby Collins. And what she said was that at one point that the governor said something to the effect of, let's play strip poker.
Strip poker.
Well, Miss Collins,
all these people,
Danny Lever, John Maggiore, and Howard Zemsky, they were on all flights with both Miss Boylan and the governor in October of 2017, and they stated that this conversation did not happen. Okay?
Now, the question is, will they keep saying it? That's the question. Will they keep saying it?
What does the report say? The report says that after denying having heard this strip poker comment, Howard Zemsky, quote, this is what the report says, received a disparaging message from Miss Boylan.
Oh, so she threatened him.
That he found, quote, jarring, end quote, and threatening. After getting the jarring and threatening communication from Miss Boylan, Mr. Zemsky's recollection then suddenly changed.
Let me ask you a question of you guys here now watching and listening. Are you starting to have any doubt? If you are, it's working. If you're not, maybe it's not. But if you're starting to have some doubt going, wow, really? Wow, the report's off. Then maybe it's working. And the reason why the harsh part here, I'm being harsh because it's Cuomo. He's a public guy. I know him. I know the kind of person he is. So I really want him to go down. But I would hope that if somebody else was accused, that they'd get a strong defense too. That's what I'll say. I'd hope anybody would get a strong defense. But my mind hasn't changed.
Why did the report not share what the message was?
See the report, evil report.
What did Miss Boylan threaten?
Well, she hid
Mr. Zemsky with. That would have caused him to change the story. Yep. Why is that not in there?
Yep.
Why does the report discredit all of the other witnesses who were there and then suddenly credit the one witness who had been threatened by Lindsay Boylan?
See, she's
recollection
people
changed.
Now. Man.
Did the investigators ignore that message? Did the investigators look into whether Lindsay Boylan was making efforts to influence the testimony of other witnesses?
Why did they do that?
Because the report mentions that she was reaching out to other people. Why is the message not been shared? And then certainly with...
All right, there was some questions asked and such. Let me grab a couple more comments. That was her last piece, but there was one thing at the end she brought up. I'll bring it up in a second. Let me grab a couple more of these if I can. Paula says, I'm afraid that New Yorkers will still take this rapey douche canoe over any Republican. Sadly, you're probably right. I mean, New Yorkers, as a whole, New York's still a Democrat state. It just is. It's a Democratic state. It is. And people who be voting against Cuomo, many of them have left. So I don't know. I think you may still be right. I hope you're wrong, but you might be right. right? You might be right. It's a valid concern. Absolutely. So, all right. Let's see here. I can go down a couple more of these. Not a single doubt. So Shelly's still on board. Okay, there we go. Jason says, I think one thing I've noticed about many libertarians is willing to have a conversation and acknowledge other points of view, even when they disagree. I think that's true. We do that. I think that's true. Yeah, I think that is true. Yes. So, all right. So if I can grab this here real fast. Paul says Rita Glavin may be a good attorney, but she's very unlikable in my opinion. Well, she's also doing a tough job, right? I mean, she's defending someone who's sexual assault. Yeah, absolutely. So I get it. Yes, I get it. Ivy says, I have no doubt. There we go. Cuomo's a violent sexual predator and euthanizer. Yes and yes. This lady's just a useful idiot to do. No, she's there to get paid and to do her job. She's there to get paid. And it pretends if Cuomo's Gandhi. That's very good. All right, you just did it. Yes, that actually comes up next. So let me do the Gandhi impression right now, Avi. And if you want to vomit because this next piece, blame Avi. Avi, it's your fault. If anyone vomits after this, it's your fault.
Back to the prosecution of Joe Percoco. And
now what she says in this case is the guy, Kim, who's doing the actual check, right? The actual review was on a board before that attacked Cuomo in the past. So now the reviewer is biased. So now we're actually attacking the reviewer on top of it, right? On top of it, right? So he even attacks the reviewer now. So she's attacked the report itself as a whole, Letitia James, EA1, the other woman, I've actually forgotten her name now. Boyden, is that her name? Her, and now the specific guy, Kim. She's attacking every one of them.
In my mind,
let me move past that.
That he formed impression that the governor will address that allegation himself, and so I will let him speak.
Hold on.
Materials or statements thus far.
This is specific to the state trooper now.
I want to mention two things about that.
State trooper now.
The first is that the governor will address that allegation himself, and so I will let him speak for himself.
This is what you're gonna love, Bobby.
I can't give you a timeline, but I know he wants to do it soon.
Mm-hmm.
No, he wants to do it soon. But there is something I want to point out. The report suggested that the governor singled her out, and wanted her on the detail because of some improper motive. That's the clear suggestion in the report.
Yes, remember the report? It says like according to the report, basically it says that Cuomo saw this trooper, thought she was hot or attractive, and said, hey, get her on my detail because she's hot so that he can go after her. That's what the report says. Watch how Rita spins this one. This is the part, Avi, that you have been warned.
And what the governor told the investigators in his testimony is that he had been complaining about the lack of diversity on his detail for some period of time.
He was been complaining about the lack of women. He just loves women. That's what it is. He's been complaining about it forever.
He has about 60 troopers that are on the detail. There's only a handful of women.
See that?
And for a governor who has hired and has senior women in all of his top jobs, this had bothered him.
He's bothered by it.
For some period of time, and he voiced it.
He said it.
And as the governor relayed it to the investigators.
Come on, say it with a straight face.
He had met this trooper.
Mm-hmm.
He thought she was impressive. In their meeting.
I like that.
He said, I don't understand. Like, why can't we hire somebody like her? Do you know her? And he was told she was excellent. So why don't we hire her?
Can you explain what led the governor, based on an interaction at an event, to believe she was impressive?
Tell me. What made him impressive?
He liked how she maintained eye contact. He liked that she was assertive with him in the conversation. And then he asked one of the troopers he knows about her, and they said, yeah, she's excellent.
See that? The trooper's
And he's
fault.
like, I don't understand this. Why do I not have women on my detail?
Give me women, you sexist troopers. All the troopers are misogynists. See? And you thought it was something else, Avi, but you were joking. He's Gandhi. He is. All the troopers, they're the ones who are misogynists. He's like, just hire her. What's wrong with you?
Also a suggestion that the governor went and wanted to change whatever the qualifications were. The governor had said he did not do this. I don't know what happened, within the detail.
It was those,
and within the troopers and what their internal policies are. And actually,
see that the troopers, they just screwed up the policy because they were trying to keep the governor happy. He knew nothing.
The governor
told
the investigators he did not know.
Yep.
But he certainly, if he meets someone, particularly in the trooper world, and he wants diversity, and he has said that to them that he wants that.
See, he wanted
diversity.
diversity.
I did want to make that point because he made that in his testimony.
So I'm going to stop punishing with that now. Thank you for those of you who stayed through the punishment. I appreciate it. But you see what I'm talking about. You don't put this out unless you're ready to fight. You don't put this out unless you're trying to push off the rest. This is happening literally. This is out in the open, right? This is to your point earlier. This is the court of public opinion. This should be in a courtroom, right? No, it's out here on the internet. It's out here on, ABC or CNN, whatever the case may be. He's trying to poison the well when it comes to a jury pool. And on top of it, he's also trying to get the other people to realize we can't win this thing. He's too good. We can't win this thing. And the lawyers don't want to lose, right? So they're trying to get it to where, you know what? We're going to back off. I think in the best case scenario for him, this is no criminal charges, and they write some checks to shut up the rest of the women, and he goes off to stay governor and runs again. I think that's what he wants, and that's what she's going to try to get her to do. He wants her to do that. If she does that, then he's like, you're my greatest lawyer in the world. I think that's what he wants. And I think people who are against Cuomo, they have a problem now. This is the problem. When you're up against a monster, once you prod the bear and the monster's out of the cage, you have to kill the monster, or the monster kills you. So a lot of them are scared. We just woke up the monster. There's a lot of us out here, right? We all got our weapons. We all got our pitchforks and torches against the big monster. But man, that monster's not scared. And it's still coming at us. Even though we got all the pitchforks and the torches, the monster's still coming at us. So the question is, who stands to fight the monster as the monster? I mean, there's a lot of us, so we feel good. There's a whole bunch of us, but the monster's not running away. It's running at us still. It's coming. It's going to try to eat us. So what are we going to do? Will the people stand there and actually defeat the monster? Or do some start to run away? Do some go, I'm out, drop their pitchfork and torch and run? This is why I keep calling him a monster. This is an apt analogy. There's a lot of people out there now who are not on his side, and they all got pitchforks and torches. And most of the people you've seen who they come after run away. We get the pitchforks out, and they run away. This monster's coming at them, straight at them. That's the thing they got to worry about. Can they beat him? Yes, if they stand fast. If all of them stand fast, they will defeat the monster. 100%. They'll defeat the monster. The question is, will they? She's trying to make sure they break and run. If that makes sense. I hope the analogy is clear. If that makes sense, what they're trying to do and how this is working and what's going on. So yes. I can't wait for this lawyer to deal with the nursing home scandal. No, they dropped that. That's going away. That's going away. He got away from that one already. He's got this is only one. That's it. Kyle says that's some crazy lawyering. Well, that's kind of how it works. Paula says he blames the Lord, Italy, his parents, sexism, nursing home staff, and his own kind heart for wanting to help women. See that? He's just a victim, Paula. But that's what you want it to happen. That's why you want it to happen. This is why the DOJ left town. The troopers cannot speak to what is happening with Cuomo unless asked by the feds. Oh, is that true? I didn't know that, Shelley. Interesting. That's That's good. I like that. That makes a lot of sense. I didn't realize that. It makes a lot of sense. Yes, I like that. Let's see here. Larry, I voted for you. Thank you. I wish people weren't stupid. This guy's a piece of S and murdered my father. Oh, Dominic, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's terrible. That is terrible. There are so many people who've suffered like that, and you lost your father. That's horrible. He deserves some stiffer punishment. Unfortunately, they will let him float. He is the something Democrat. Oh, I guess that's lib Democrat savior. The illegitimate one also said he should step down. Look, I show you this because he isn't the last one. There will be more, and there are more, right? I'm not sure that homeboy in California isn't exactly the same. Newsom, there are many like him. Politics tends to draw these types in. It's a common thing. We just have to see it, and we have to know it. This is what happens. This is how it works, and you should know it. You should be more educated on how it works, so you can tell your friends. So when you see this, right? So when you see this, you'll go, I get it, and you won't fall for it. So I'm sorry about your father. Paul says, what kills me is that Cuomo could possibly hurt the Dems' chances in 2024. And as long as Cuomo is in power, Cuomo does not care. He would get in bed with Trump if it would save his ass. Yes, absolutely. If Trump reached out to him now, he'd be Trump's best friend. Trump's best friend. Absolutely. He'd be Trump's best friend today if Trump reached out. He'd be like, yeah, oh, Donnie, my man. He'd be like, I just love it. Of course. I said before, he's a Cuomoist. He's not a Democrat or Republican. I mean, he is a Democrat. I mean, because by title, but all about himself. That's it. All about himself. So speaking of Democrats, guys, as always, please check the World's Smallest Political Quiz. It is good. It makes my sponsors happy. Please check it out. Take it. Pass it around. It does matter. Take that click. And also subscribe to my other stuff. Subscribe to my Sharpe Way page on YouTube. Subscribe to my Sharpe Way page on Twitter. Subscribe to all of my Sharpe Way social media so that if I get canceled on Larry Sharpe, I can fall back to Sharpe Way. It does matter. Please make that happen. And as always, like, comment, and share. It does matter. That really helps to make us move forward. Guys, I hope that was interesting for you. You can watch it on YouTube if you want to. We'll see if it'll be on the news tonight, and we'll see what happens next week. If next week people are picking us up, it's working. If they're not, then he's in trouble. Someone asked me, what are the odds of him being in power and surviving this? Earlier this week, I said it's about 60-40. I'm still about 60-40. I think the odds are still in his favor right now. I don't know if people will stand their ground as the monster charges. I think we'll find out. And I think next week, I said from last time, within 30 days, we'll know. We'll know in a couple of weeks, I think. We'll know probably about 3 weeks. So about 30 days. About 30 days, we'll know. Are people going to hold their ground when the monster charges, or are they going to break and run? We'll find out. Guys, thank you so much for this evening. I appreciate it. I'm taking the weekend off for a bit. That's not true. I'm doing a panel tomorrow for veterans. I will post that on the page if you want to watch that. It's a charity event. If you want to watch that, a panel, then I will be back on Monday. Everybody, I will see you all very soon. Have a great weekend.